there, and the bank manager came up and said, "You're not allowed to film. You're not allowed to do videos in here." And I said, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." All right, so I turned off the video real quick, and because you're not allowed to film in the bank. Maybe it's because of burglaries or so I'll keep it on until I get back to the shop. How's that? Adam wants me to go 24/7, so I'll accommodate Adam. So you're not allowed to film in a bank. I should have known that. But the bank manager came on. "Hey, you got to turn this off." I did. "Okay, I'm sorry." So I'll do another video until we get home. How's that? Because Adam is bored. He doesn't have anything else to do in life, so he just watches me. Oh my gosh. So when I get back, I'm going to tell Ryan to make up a coupon that it's going to be called the Just Looking Coupon. All right. And it's for people that come in. So when people come in now, I'm going to say, "Oh, no problem. I've got something for you right now. It's called the Just Looking Coupon." And the next time you do come in, you get 10% off of what you just looked at. So that's what I'm going to have Ryan work on. The Just Looking Coupon. Okay, so I don't like these donuts anymore. I'm telling you right now. Holy cow. Sentinel Tribune. Built that in 1975. Boom. That shows you where the newspaper industry went. They must have had $1 million press in there. That's all gone. That technology has left the building. Oh, these are disgusting. I can't believe you don't charge them bucks to look, LOL. Yeah, so you're not allowed to film in a bank. So he came out and said to me, "You gotta turn the camera off." I go, "Oh, I'm sorry." Back in the saddle again. Yeah, I don't like these I can't eat any of this Hostess stuff anymore. Maybe that's good that I can't eat it anymore. I gotta. There's just certain things that I don't like to eat anymore, and there's certain things I do like to eat. I can eat a cookie, sugar cookie. Those are good, and also pumpkin cookies. Those are good. But this confectionery stuff, no, can't eat it anymore. I'm not gonna buy that stuff anymore. The donuts just have an aftertaste. It's too bad. So I've been thinking to myself, you know, we live in a world, a really weird world right now. And I was thinking, well, how was it like just before the 1929 stock market crashed? What were people doing? What did they think? Did they think that it would stop? You can read articles, and I have, and read stories, and um, how it was, because everybody was just kind of 1920s was the roaring 20s, and you just things were just going great, and then all of a sudden it all stopped. It's just kind of like it literally just collapsed. It's like, how did this happen? How did the depression happen? What what was the you could come out and say, well, here are all the reasons it happened, and overproduction, underproduction. In the 1930s, America was, um, a fairly, we were 15 years really. I mean, if you really want to say, we were 15 years into the automobile industry. Okay. I mean, you can really say 1901, 1902, automobiles were fairly, really new. So in a sense, you could say in 2005, that's when I started selling cars. You have cars that were invented in 1905, maybe, give it 10 years of mass production. So, in the 1920s, a lot of this technology that we take for granted nowadays, the telephone, electric light, the automobile, the phonograph, radio, all these technologies were within a 10-year span of being developed. Okay. And so all of that was being developed in the 20s. All this technology was just flooding the market. And then all of a sudden, 1929, it stopped. Boom. And I'm looking at a lot of things that are happening right now in this world. Every country has trillions in debt. Okay. You got China, which has trillions of debt. Okay. And then I'm looking at, I watched some videos. I'm stopping to watch some of them because it does seem like it's repetitive. Um, but it's kind of like, what are you going to do? You got car dealerships now. They're talking about car dealerships. They're How do you stay in business when you don't? When I was selling cars in 2004 and five, Do you know how many? Do you know what the average? Let me just ask this question. On an average dealer, and I'm not talking a mega dealer, I'm just talking an average dealer. How many cars do you think an average dealer sold a month? Used and new. Does anybody have any idea the average sales at a dealership? Car sales. 50, okay. No, 150. I worked at Graph Auto, and we would go through. I mean, so we had 6 salesmen, okay, and you would want to sell at least 16 to 20 cars a month just to make money, okay. You'd want to sell at least 16 a person. So you got 6 or 8 guys selling cars. You could go through 100 cars a month. That's just a Graph Auto. Now you're talking a dealership that's in Toledo. They're probably selling 900. They're not selling those numbers now. There's nothing on their lot. And I'm just thinking to myself, how do you stay in business? You can't just be doing it only on online sales or pre-orders. And so I'm just thinking to myself, okay, well, then how long does that last? Now, there's one thing that a comparison. So during the Great Depression, okay, so America had the great, and our highest unemployment rate, I think, was 30%. All right. I think the highest was 30, maybe it was 20. Even let's say it was 20%. That means 80% of Americans were still working. You still had people working. You had 80% of them working. Even 70% are working. I mean, I think you would have a problem if you had only 20% of your people working. Then I think you would have a real problem. But Lionel trains, that's where they really boomed, was the 1930s, okay, and the late 1920s. During, they toys thrive during economic downturns because people need to do something, okay, and they usually turn to a hobby. I know when I started selling, so I got into selling SCX in 2007. And then right when the collapse happened, 2008 or 2008 and 9 and 10 were my best years with SCX. We were selling so many digital sets, it was sickening. And they were $300 sets back in 2008 and 9. They were $300 sets. Because when you bought an SCX digital set and you paid 300, you got $300 worth of product. You had three three cars, 3 digital controllers, a pit box, and you had everything. Just a lot of things don't make sense to me right now. I'm just being honest with you. Maybe I just am paranoid. I shouldn't think about it at all, but it just, a lot of things just don't make sense. You know, Now that this new talk of this uh, cold fusion, where they're getting more output than input, and if they can create a an alt, see, I've always been under the impression that if you find that water is the fuel, okay, and that if you create an engine that uses water, you have the miracle engine. Or if you create a power supply, like let's say a generator or a device that you just pour a gallon of water in it, and it's going to give you enough power to run your whole house for a month, okay, for electricity, that is a game changer, okay. And so if you make a car You just pour water into the gas tank, 12 gallons of water. Then that car would run, for the entire month. Okay. That is the game changer. That's the miracle energy. Okay. The problem is it would just destroy all these countries that are using oil because, but see, that's the catch 22 that I don't think they take into account. That if you create cheap energy or free energy, or very inexpensive, then your economy literally, uh, there's no limit. And the reason I say that is because I was watching this video about um, Australia. Okay, so Australia, this is what is really mind-boggling. Australia is frankly the size of America, a little bit smaller. We have, and I said this about Canada. I said America has 320 million Americans. Okay, Canada has about 40 million. Do you realize that Australia only has 25 million residents? How does that be? They followed the same path we did almost, and they should be at least 100 million, 200 million people in Australia. Something doesn't add up. Why is America the only country other than China that has 300 million people? It makes no sense. I really think it's a lot of these environmentalists, these globalists that just don't think that man should have all these men on, or man on Earth is just killing it, and we need to get rid of men. I just think that philosophy started in the mid-60s, I think, or it had to be before that, because there's no reason why a country like Australia only has 25 million people. I think it's the mindset that having kids, if you're going to have a prosperous society, your people have to have kids. I mean, lots of them. Half of Australia, yeah, but not really though. Well, heck, look at America. We got half America's uh, is a Australia. Look how many people live in Arizona and Texas. You can't really say that, and especially on the eastern part of Australia. Okay, so you got the eastern part of Australia, which is similar to the eastern part of the United States. Only 25 million people live there. How does that make any sense? Go look at it and tell me I'm wrong. It's impossible. That makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. No logic at all. I'm just talking to you guys. This has nothing to do with slot cars. This says my brain. It's called Brian's brain. I just think these things up nonstop. It doesn't make any sense to me. You're like Canada. Why does Canada only have 30 million people? You drive from Detroit to Toronto. There's miles of nothing, and that's really, in a sense, uh, from uh, from New York to D.C. It's nothing but cities. They don't want people to have kids. I really believe that. I just don't think they want to have kids. Too many people. They think there's too many people on Earth. No, there's too much evil on this Earth. That's the problem. Oh well, I'm just pontificating now. Well, I'm pulling into Wayne. Oh, excuse me. These donuts are disgusting. I'm not even going to finish eating them. The King Dong, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. They are very disgusting. I will not. Oh, I will not buy those again. I just ate my last King Dong and my last donuts because they have such an aftertaste. Oh yeah, that's a good one, Matt Behringer. Yep. That's the, what do you do? There's so many houses in town that are vacant in Wayne. I could count them on this street. They're absolutely that have been vacant for 10 years. One right after another, houses that are empty in this town.